actually my first full effort sprint. So I'm going like 70 or 80. Nice. I would start at the back. Yeah, that extra little bit of traction there is valuable in in flat shoes.
That as part of your initial acceleration.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if you, so obviously we're not wearing cleats, so this is kind of. I mean, you get some traction. It's just not as good as rubber on rubber. So, yeah. So from there, you're gonna flick your left arm big.
So leave them loose.
Yep.
But drive that
Yeah, just
forward.
loose in front, loosey goosey.
And you still sort of doing that falling forward.
Yeah, you wanna like roll and flick. Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty good. You can definitely get a hard. I think you're being like, you're trying to be like really on point with your first hand flick.
Oh yeah.
So if you just gotta let that arm go. Yeah. Yeah. So from here, I'm gonna go boom. But that first action will be bigger than. It starts to like tighten up as you go. But
Okay.
think about it. Oh, now we're thinking too much. Now we're thinking too much. I'm a bad coach.
You're super loose arms.
Well, you know what we need to do is we need to practice it just with the flick. So if you stand in like your split step, yeah, and then just actually like just practice the arm throw. Yeah, and that back arm can go up more.
Up.
Yeah, like up the whole arm. Yeah, just let it go. Yep, exactly. Yeah, it doesn't need to be as rigid. That's nice. Yeah, yeah. Good morning. It's the moment that most of you parkour people watching this have been waiting for. I'm in the end game. I'm now in the power block, which is where we get to figure out how to take all of these strength gains and put them into power gains that are going to help us with our jumps for parkour. So I've already warmed up. And I just finished some sprinting exercises. Next up, I am going to be doing some one-arm chin-up progressions that I've been doing throughout the foundation block and the strength block. For the power block, the main goal is no longer to try to really focus on strength gains. The focus is going to be on being more dynamic and doing sport-specific exercises for parkour. So we're switching to only doing one-arm chin-up progressions, or for you, most likely weighted pulling just once a week. You're still gonna be doing high intensity, but just at a lower volume. And for myself, I'm actually curious to see whether or not I've been overdoing it with the one-arm chin-up progressions. So now that I'm switching to doing just once a week at that high intensity, I'm curious to see how the extra rest, whether or not it actually gives me closer to my goal or not. After one-arm chin-up progressions, I'm just doing 3 sets of 2 squats today at 80%. And then I'm going to be getting into depth jumps. So got my flag up there, but I'm not going to be trying to hit it right away. Actually, the first thing I'm going to do before I do any depth jumps is just more of a depth landing. So I'll be taking off here, trying to get some resistance in on that landing. So for these, you're trying to make stiffer contact. And then when you actually go for the jump, the idea is that from the takeoff, you're trying to attack the ground. And you notice on that first one, because I just did a bunch of deeper squats, that first one I sunk in a little bit lower, but now I'm trying to stiffen up on that landing so that I can get a good attack when I actually go to touch the flag. All right, now for some actual jumps. Of course, we missed the first one. Oh, the second one. First thing you're going to find about doing depth jumps is that you're not going to get as high as you would off of a stiff takeoff off the ground. It's better. Don't get discouraged. There's a learning curve to the skill. And don't expect to be jumping very high when you first start doing depth jumps. So I'm taking a long break in between sets. I'm going to give yourself about 3 to 4 minutes. Doing sets of 8 today, and I'm using a 25-inch box, which is kind of towards the lower end of the recommendation for this part of the block. So you can do anywhere from 24 to 30 inches. If you have quite a bit of experience already doing jumping and landing, if you're not very well versed in either jumping or taking drops, you can start as low as a 12-inch box and still get some good work done with depth jumps. So you probably will notice some improvement from your first set to your second set. Myself, I haven't done these in a little while, so I didn't expect to do super well in my first set, and obviously we got some improvements as my timing gets dialed in for the second set. If you're looking to get more information about the technique and how to do these, I also have another video that you can check out where it's just covering depth jumps. I'm not going to get too much into technique today because that video already exists. So I didn't perform really well on depth jumps today, which was expected because I haven't done them in a while, but I am expecting to make some really good improvements on those next week once I'm a little bit more practiced. For the rest of today, I have some ab exercises and some calf exercises to do, but I'm gonna cut this one early and bring this video to an end. So if you are new here, please hit that subscribe button, drop me a like, leave me a comment, anything about training, and I'll try to include it in a future video. And remember that if you're somewhere where it's terrible weather outside right now and your gyms are closed and you can't practice parkour the way that you want to, remember that you can always find work to do at home so that you can get strong and you too can stay chiseled.